Today is part 3 of our open source SOC solution, and today we are going to test an enterprise grade open source EDR platform. Yes guys, we are going to add Elastic EDR agent with our stack. We are going to play around with some malware and we will see how those malware getting prevented using this EDR solution, and those alerts are getting fed to our Kibana and our SOC people can view those alerts are coming. We are going to start from scratch. I will show you how you can create your agent policies, how you can create your integration, and how you can enroll your endpoint agent to the fleet server so that your endpoint can keep on talking with your Elastic Kibana instance, and whenever a malware gets dropped, what policies are preventing it, and how basically you are seeing those alerts coming to your Kibana console as well, right? So are you ready guys? Are you excited? I am damn excited to add these particular solutions to our stack. Without wasting further any time, let's jump into the demo and let's start our session. Okay, so this is about the architecture and the every aspect of it, what actually we are going to explore in today's episode. So in our last episode we have worked with some dummy data, dummy logs, but in this episode we are adding Elastic EDR agent. That is our main intention for this particular episode to work on, and basically what exactly we are trying to achieve here. So we will have some workstations, you can say it could be Windows workstation and Linux workstation as well. So we will show you how basically you can install EDR agent, which is by the way a free EDR agent which comes by default with Elastic. So you can install Elastic EDR agent on these endpoints, and what we will do, we will try to execute some malware on all of these box, and we will see how basically this EDR is actually acting and how we can get all those data fed to our Elastic search, which is our main scope for this particular SIEM instance. And we will, as for the previous episode, we will see how basically we can see all of those visualizations, all of those stuffs in Kibana, and rest of all you already know, like those alerts will be fed to TheHive. We will correlate the alerts or whatever the malware execution that we'll be doing. We will correlate with our MISP threat intelligence event, and we will try to automate that process with the shuffle workflow automation as well, right? But for today's episode, you can consider is obviously, so it is part 3 of our open source solution. We will be keep on continuing on those solution on enhancing this particular thing. But for today's episode, what is our main intention? We will explore the fleet option that comes with Elastic right now, which I will show you in a second, which is a one-stop solution for managing all of your endpoint agents, right? So we will install the endpoint agents, we will configure the endpoint policies, we will configure the Windows policies. So what is the easiest thing is that you will get a bunch of options like Windows log beat, then audit beat, then fluent beat, all of those things, but you don't need to fetch each and everything individually. So Elastic agent will do all the job for you, and we will also include the Elastic EDR policies into that, so that we will have an enterprise grade antivirus solution with us. Okay, so that's about our whole architecture. Okay, so moving on, I want to just show you what are the steps that is involved for us to create this particular solution up. So we have divided this stage, this overall integration process in 3 phases. These are the particular phases that is required for the integration. So the first step is that you need to prepare your fleet solution and create your policy. So unless you understand the steps very clearly, it might be confusing. We will see in a second how practically things are done, but this is the theory part. So once you prepare your fleet solution and you have your policies created, the next step you will add the integration, right? So you will add different kind of integration into the policies, like endpoint policy, endpoint integration, different kind of log bit integration, and a lot of stuff. We will see that in a second. And the third stage is that you will have to add the agent to the policy. So that is the third step, while the fleet solution will talk to your endpoints, and whatever whatever the policies and integration you have added to them, it will be incorporated into that endpoint agent, so that the endpoint agent, the particular endpoint, how it is behaving, all the logs should be shipped to your Elastic, and you can do all of those stuff like whatever the security operations actually has to do in a regular life. Okay, so now it is time for us to see the actual demo. So the first instance, I won't show you the installation step, that I have kept at the end, how you can basically set up. But first, let me show you how basically the overall feel and how basically this thing actually works. Okay, so let me take you to the console directly over here. So as you can see over here, so this is our Elastic the overall home page, and what exactly we are getting into it. So once you click to this particular section, you will go to this Elastic security solution. You can go to this overview. I have shown you these in past, and how basically you can make Elastic up and running, that I have also shown in past. You can just watch this video. I'll leave the link in the description. It is coming in the I button as well. But just to brief you, this is our the Elastic detection page. Okay, but today's intention, I will come up in a second. So what exactly we are trying to achieve over here. So now once you come to the security section, you see there are host options, right? So host is basically nothing how the endpoint agent is talking to you, right? What are the things, what are the aspect of it, and how basically you are talking with that agent. So as you see, so we have two different agents. So this is my Fleet server on which my Elastic is also hosted. So Fleet you can consider is a management host, okay, which is managing all of your endpoint agents, and this is my virtual machine which I have installed the Elastic agent. Okay, now if I quickly show you the Fleet, you can scroll down to this particular section. You can just click on this Fleet option, and it will show you what are the different agent, the same thing that you are seeing. This is my Fleet agent, so both are healthy. And if you see, this is my agent policy. Okay, so just let me show you what is the agent policy means, as I showed you, right? So 3 steps. So first, we have created this agent policy. Inside that agent policy, we have added the integration. Okay, so EDR demo is on integration, which is type of endpoint security. So that is an enterprise grade security that is incorporated with that particular policy, the agent policy one. And the second one is Windows matrices, which is collecting the Windows default matrices. So there are a lot of matrices comes by default, right? So we are collecting all of those matrices, and we are bundling everything up, and we are applying agent policy 1 into that, right? So what does that mean? So whatever the endpoints you are adding with this agent policy 1, it will be automatically enrolled to use this endpoint security and Windows metrics the integration. Okay, so now if I quickly show you the edit integration tab, so it is basically the full trusted EDR solution. So this you can see the malware prevention is enabled, and I am preventing everything. So if you want to test this particular thing, you can detect that as well, but I am preventing on it on the endpoints, right? So similarly, the ransomware, the memory threat on the Windows, Mac, Linux, all as things are getting prevented, and I am notifying the user as well, right? So these are the things that is getting collected using the Elastic endpoint EDR solution. Okay, and just to I have toggled this option before installing this, so register as antivirus, so that whatever the by default antivirus comes, like Windows Defender, it will disable that and it will register this and the antivirus solution. Okay, so now let's move on. This is my the VM virtual machine that I was working on. So just I want to show you how basically you can download a particular agent and you can test it out, right? What is happening over here? Okay, so let me move my face quickly over here. Okay, so now done. So I have a virus total over here. So what I will do, I'll quickly download one malware sample from this particular page, and I will try to execute that particular malware sample on this particular box, and I will show you how basically this is getting prevented on the endpoint by the Elastic agent. And the same thing we are able to see in the Kibana as well. Okay, so I have downloaded one sample. So let me open up my download section over here. Yeah, so this is the particular sample that I have downloaded, and let me quickly rename it to anything.exe so that make it executable. So I'll try to make it as sample1.exe. okay, so now you see the security event has prevented me to rename that particular file and to make it as executable. So this was a particular, I believe it was a ransomware kind of stuff. I didn't check quickly, but I have just downloaded it. So we can similarly do another sample as well, just to check quickly. Let me download this particular sample as well. Okay, downloaded. Awesome. So you see this particular thing also been downloaded. So I want to rename it sample3.exe. okay, yeah, so I have downloaded this particular thing as of now. So just let me quickly run this particular thing. Okay, so Windows Defender screen time, that is obviously protecting my system. Okay, as you see, Elastic Security has prevented it again. So that's pretty much it, guys, right? So you can understand like how Elastic Security is working at the back end, and it is preventing for me to download or execute any particular malware that I am trying to execute now. Okay, so now let me take you to the console over here, and if I want to show you what exactly how this thing actually works in a real-time manner. So these are the Kibana console, and these are the logs that I am getting. Okay, so if I quickly jump back maybe for 2 hours of time update, and it should be visible like whatever the things that is currently executing, right? So to make it easier and to understand like what has happened, so let me quickly grab the file name. Obviously the file has been downloaded with the hash name. So if I just copy simple that file, and if I want to search it over here, so there should be definitely some logs which is coming to my Kibana console. Now you see this is the hash value. Okay, so now if I go to this particular section, you will see that this is the particular file name that has been downloaded on the endpoint, and those logs are getting over here, right? So you see, if you come to this particular section, you will see malware intrusion detected, malicious file, endpoint alerts. Okay, so these are the data set from coming from endpoint alerts, right? So if I quickly toggle this column, or if you can add this particular thing to your analysis as well, so that's how you are getting all of the logs to your Kibana console. Okay, so now let us quickly go back to our security section, and let us see how basically this alert has populated, so that whenever an endpoint has triggered a malware solution, it should trigger some malware alert as well, right? So now you see it has triggered, guys. So it is 20th March, and it has just triggered 4 minutes back. So malware prevention alert, right? So the reason malware intrusion detection and file event process with firefox.exe. okay, you can see the event name, you can see the username and all of those stuffs. Now if you go to this analyze event section, it will open a beautiful window for you, by which you can actually understand what is happened, how this thing happened onto your endpoint, right? So you can see here over here, so Firefox obviously was responsible for that. So there were user init process that was involved, and you see all of the process that was involved to change or download that particular process, or even to execute that particular process, is everything is inside that particular this analyze section, guys. So you can analyze every damn thing from this particular analyze section, and it will give you a very much drill down option to understand what is happening. Okay, so Firefox was terminated, Firefox was running, and Explorer user init.exe was terminated. And if you just click any of the processes, you will see that the timestamp, process executable, username, process argument by which the process argument has ran, every damn thing has been captured over here, right? So this is the overall thing, guys. So this is the power of Windows Elastic Agent, by which you can definitely understand what is happening. And in our next part of the episode, we will in our next, probably the coming up episode, we will show you how basically you can send these alerts to the Hive whenever a particular malware got executed or identified on an endpoint, an analyst can view not only from this Elastic console but also from the Hive console as well. Okay, so now the last section of this particular episode, now we will see how you can integrate, or how you can prepare all those policies and install on an endpoint agent so that you can get up and running system and you can implement the same into your SOC as well. Let's do that now. Okay, so to install the fleet, it is very much easy process. So once you log into the particular Elastic SIEM console, it will be very easy step for you. You just need to come to this particular security section. So for me, I am getting all of these options, right? But for you, if you are a first time user, you will see that there is a absolute blank screen and you need to add your data up. Okay, so you will see the endpoint solution, you will see the Elastic EDR solution. So depending upon your need, you can choose any of the options. So that will directly route you to this fleet option. Okay, so since I am already running this fleet server onto my machine, so which is a Elastic Cloud Agent, which is a fleet server, and Elastic APM, it's a by default. So once you are coming to this particular option, you will be seeing step-by-step process to integrate or launch a fleet solution onto your machine, right? So that is a really easy step, guys. So I am not showing that, but if you have any query or if you have any doubt, feel free to comment that. I'll be happy to answer. But for this particular, once you are done with the fleet installation, next thing is the very tricky part, guys. So you might feel something like, okay, so things are getting something messy, right? So what you need to do over here, once you are done with the fleet installation, you need to come to the agent policy. Okay, so the first step, you remember, install fleet and then come to agent policy. Okay, so what I am trying to over here, so I am trying to create a new agent policy for you guys so that you guys can see it from beginning. Okay, so I am trying Windows demo policy. Okay, and you can come to this optional section. You can similarly write it, or you can leave it like that. Okay, so I will write down these steps as well, and it is the policy creation phase, guys. So whatever the machine, whatever you, if you have an IIS kind of server, so you can create an IIS defined policy. You have a Linux server, you can create a Linux policy so that the endpoint will be incorporating with that particular policy. Okay, so agent policy I am just creating now. So once that is done, you will see in this particular page there is another agent policy got created. Okay guys, so you see a Windows demo agent policy has been created now. So we are going to the second step now. So what exactly we need to do, if we click into that particular policy, you will see that the system integration will be available by default. Okay, so what all the things you need for that particular endpoint to be collected at Kibana end, you have to enter that. Okay, so for our instance, since we are testing with our Elastic EDR, so what we can search for is called security. So you can see there is a endpoint security, so you just need to select that and you need to add that endpoint security to it. Okay, okay, so add endpoint security integration. So integration name you have to select, so you can select as EDR, as simple as that. You can select the advanced option, so obviously it will be the Windows, but make sure you are adding it to the Windows demo policy, right? So whatever we have created just now, you don't need to add agent policy 1, otherwise it will be duplicating your previous policy with the integration. Okay, so once you are done, you just click save and continue. So that particular endpoint security will be adding. Okay, okay, so add Elastic agent letter. So that is the third step, but we are not up to that point. Okay, so we have added one endpoint security, and if you want to add any other integration, like you can add like something like Windows collect. So like it will have the Windows log bit which it will collect the other stuffs. You can come here and you can see that the agent IDs, containerize, host name, host family, OS integration, and all those stuffs. Okay, so let's add that particular thing as well, and it will be the same Windows. Let's try as Windows matrices. Okay, so you can similarly type it in the description as well, and obviously the policy will be Windows demo 1, and save and continue. It will add another integration with you as well. So basically what is exactly happening, so okay, so it gave me one particular error. Okay, so I will just add up one other thing. Okay, so close out and save and continue. So what I was telling, that this particular thing is basically some kind of food court for you, so that where you go to that particular menu section, you add up, you choose whatever things you need, and you add that particular to your section. Okay, so that's easy as that. Okay, so our second step is done. We have added the integration as of now, and third step, now you need to add up your agent. Okay, so how you can do that? So we have a particular system that is running. So this is my one AWS instance. It is a Windows server instance, and on this particular server I want to add this particular agent. Okay, so how we can do that? You can just click here to this add agent option. Obviously I want to enroll in Fleet so that I can manage all of my endpoint host using Fleet. Okay, so all of this thing will be same. So go to downloads page. Now you need to download this particular endpoint agent on the particular endpoint on which you want to install that particular software in. Okay, so for doing that, I will open a Firefox over here, and I will simply copy and paste this particular path. Okay, and we are running Elastic current version, which is 8.1.0, and I want to download this Windows 64-bit installer over here. Okay, so I have downloaded the Elastic EDR agent, and I have extracted the file for us. Okay, so what we need to do, we just need to open a command prompt for this particular section. So what I will do, I will open up my command prompt from an administrative template so that I can get administrative privilege. So I'll simply go to this particular location where my this agent is sitting. Okay, so I'll quickly do a dir, and if you see over here, my Elastic agent is present over here. Okay, so now it's the next step. So I will go back to my Elastic console, and it will give you the exact steps what you need to follow. Okay, so if you go to here in Windows, you will see the exact command that you need to run. So you just need to copy that particular sucker over here, and you need to come to your endpoint, and you just need to simply paste it over here. Okay, so I want to copy it one more time. Yes, it is pasted. Now what I will do, I will simply paste enter, and I will wait for the particular system to enroll to my Fleet option and to install the endpoint agent for us as well. Okay, yeah, it will obviously install my service as the endpoint agent as a service. So I want to give it as a Y, and it will take some time depending on the network bandwidth that you have onto your system. And as you see, it is already rolling, and you see Elastic agent has been successfully installed on this particular machine as well. Okay, so now I want to close this all those sucker from here, and if I just go back to my Elastic console over here, now if I go to Fleet option, so you will see that my third machine which I have just installed the Elastic agent is visible over here. So you can see the updated version over here, and if you jump on to the this particular host section, so it might take some time depending on the communication, but you see already this particular thing is already listening on. Okay, so so Windows Server Data Center. So these are the particular things that I was working on at the backend. So that got installed as well. So this was my virtual machine anyway, and these machines I have just installed right now. So if you just go back to the section, you will see the what is the host name. It is ending with D9, right? So if you come here, it will see the D9 machine has been installed over here, right? So this particular machine was having some Kubernetes option, the virtualization environment installed, so that you will see all of the machine names are populating over here, right? So you now have the full control onto this particular machine, and the same policy whatever you have added, you will see everything coming up over here. Okay, so now for the last time, let me quickly show you the Fleet option over here so that you can visualize the thing. So agent policy, this particular agent policy that we have created, and if you want to edit any of your agent policy like that way, So you can come to this particular integration section, and you can you can, if you want to detect that particular thing, everything will be done for you guys as well, right? So you can toggle this particular option as well to save integration, save and deploy changes. So what it will happen, you don't need to do any changes over here, so it will be automatically pulled to your endpoint, and it will be automatically done at the endpoint level as well. Okay, so now the interesting part, guys, once you have done all of those features, all of those testings, you will see the by default dashboards, right? So that is coming up from your Elastic agents. Okay, so if you see here, over here, you will see a lot of by default dashboards that is coming. So Elastic agent, this is a really beautiful graphical representation that you get in terms of what are the data, whatever the matrices that you are collecting from each of the every agent. That's why I was telling you guys, so you don't need any different kind of beat solution like metric beat, file beat, Elastic agent. So Elastic agent on behalf of you is integrating every damn solution that you need to collect data from your endpoint, right? So that's pretty much it about. Okay guys, so that's pretty much it about today's episode. So I hope you have enjoyed the session, and it is really fascinating, guys, how basically you can leverage an open source. Now it is not open source, it is open and free, but again it's free, right? So you can install Elastic onto your machine. You can create your full SOC solution. Again, you can go back to my previous episode, first create that full SOC solution, and then come back, deploy the endpoint agent to the endpoints the way actually SOC works, and then you can do all of the testing, right? You can play around with the antivirus solution, you can dump the viruses on the endpoint, and you can see how basically those alerts are coming to the Elastic, and same the alert will be fed to the Hive as well, and you can do the correlation using your MISP, using your Cortex as well, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it about today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed, so please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe Black Pearl, so that whenever I upload a new video, you get notification as soon as that, and you can try your hands dirty on it, right? So I'll catch you guys next time. Stay healthy, stay safe.